Okay, hello everyone and welcome to the Wild Astro Lockdown Loadout video. What I've got here is my entire exhaustive wild camping gear spread out before me. My pack is over here and I'm going to take a look today at two versions of my loadout. The first one is the bare essentials, absolute ultralight, the lightest possible way I can go out camping with the gear I've got here. And the second one I'm going to do is my full-on, full astrophotography with tracking mount, loadout with my big tripod, the whole lot, the whole smash, the full vlogging kit and everything. Okay, so I'll go through everything I've got here to start with. Okay, so front row starting from the left over here, that's the Lanshan 2 tent. Sleeping bag there, that's the Vango Venom 300 in there. I do have a winter bag as well, but it's exactly the same weight and it packs down into that same size bag, so I've not brought that out with me, there's no point. Pegs for the tent down there, walking poles, that's my Thermarest X-Therm sleeping pad there. That is my Helinox Chair Zero. Ground sheet for the Lanshan, pillow. Sleeping clothing, extra warm gloves, hat and snood. That's the drone in there. Full camera gear including my tracking mount. At the back here I've got my mid and top layers of my clothing system. I've got my possibles bag there, water filter, head torch, spoon, kettle and a few other housekeeping little bits and pieces there that I use for drying and keeping everything clean. Mug, cooking kit. That's my litre of water, and that is the minimum amount of water I'll take with me. If I'm going somewhere where there's not going to be a water source for me to get any more water from, I take this with me full as well. That's 2.5 litres in a camelback there. Okay. Coming back here, there's my three. I mean, we're talking here about a 2-day, 1-night camping trip. Okay, so there's an evening meal. There's a bit of dessert there, and there's breakfast for the next morning. Okay, in my possibles bag there I've also got some rations, a couple of protein bars and that sort of thing for the day's walking. Over here I've got an OS map of wherever I happen to be going, and a towel. That's my Benro tripod, and that is my rock bag that hangs underneath the tripod to keep everything nice and stable. Over here is my Expert Thunder 70 backpack that I'm going to be putting everything into. So I'm going to start off by just putting in the absolute bare essentials that I would need for 2 days walking and a night of camping. Okay, so what I've done to start with here is I've split my gear into 3 sections. First one is bare essentials. These are the bits that I absolutely would not want to be out and about without, and they include the obvious things like tent, sleeping bag and sleep pad. Arguably I could leave the sleep pad out of that equation, but I wouldn't sleep well if I did. There's also my OS map in there, walking poles because the tent requires walking poles to pitch it. The next section here is seasonals or weather dependent bits and pieces here. So this is my RAB Continuum down jacket, my mounted equipment load C rain jacket there. I've got my extra gloves, extra thick hat and snood there, and my cold weather sleeping kit down at the bottom, cold weather sleeping clothing down at the bottom there as well. So those are the weather or seasonal dependent bits of kit. And over here are my luxuries, my extras, my big heavy tripod, my camera system, my drone. I will take into account and add actually the weight of the kit that you're sat on at the moment there. That's my little travel tripod and my little mobile gimbal, and probably comes to about 1 kilogram, maybe 1.5 kilograms in total, and obviously I would be carrying that as well. So let's start packing this out. I'm going to start off with the absolute essentials, then we'll add the weather dependent stuff, and then we'll go through all the luxuries and get it all in the pack. Okay. Okay, so because the Thunder 70 is a panel loading backpack, I haven't got to worry about making the tent near the top, the easy access and all that sort of thing. So, and to be honest with you right now, we're only concerned about the weight of it anyway. So let's get the tent in first, nice and low down. Sleeping bag on top of that. thermarest pad is down the side there, and then we're going to start packing out all the extra space down at the bottom there. That is my Rab Power Stretch hoodie. I wouldn't want to be without that. I am going to do a review of that at some point. Really great micro fleece mid layer. One or two weaknesses, but it's fantastic, and I definitely wouldn't want to be without it. So it even goes as well. Food, something to eat, always something to eat for me these days. At some point I will get around to trying some other ones as well, but that's my evening beef stew and potato, and that's my morning oats with raspberry, so in he goes as well. There's my OS map of wherever I'm going. Anyone that argues that that isn't an essential is kidding themselves. We'll get spoon in there. Cooking kit, that's the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe going in there. We're going to take a water filter because we're only taking a litre of water, so that can all go in there as well. Head torch, obviously going to need that. I have got the Goal Zero Lighthouse Micro in my possibles bag there for in the tent at night, but it weighs nothing, so I'm going to leave that in there. Now, sweat rag. If I'm walking up a mountain, need that. That is absolutely essential for me, else I'm blind. Then I've got some Dettol wipes and I've got some Andrex moist wipes, okay? If you can't figure out what they're for, then you're in the wrong game, aren't you? Right, so let's get those in there. Pegs for the tent. Hiking poles. For this particular event, I will strap the hiking poles onto the front of the pack. But let's get that zipped up. So this is what I'm calling my ultralight setup. This is the absolute bare minimum gear that I need for 2 days of hiking and 1 night of wild camping. So let's see what sort of weight we've got here. Let's just put these on the front. Fantastic, there we go. Right, so right, I've got a set of bathroom scales down here that you can't see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh myself with the pack. And that is 108.9 kilograms. Okay, and now I'm going to weigh myself without the pack on. Okay, that is 100.1 kilograms, which means that that pack weighs 8.8 kilograms, and I'm pretty happy with getting that down to single figures. Excellent. So 8.8 kilograms is my absolute minimum base weight for 2 days hiking and 1 night of wild camping. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to assume that I'm perhaps hiking somewhere and it's a bit colder, and that it is perhaps there's a chance of rain. Maybe a winter hike, winter overnight or something like that. So I'm going to add all of the seasonal bits and pieces. I'm not interested in packing them nice and neatly at the moment. I just want to get them in the bag. Open the bag back up again and start off by adding my extra warm snood hat gloves. And there you go. Then we'll add my night gear. That is a merino wool base layer. That's just from Aldi, believe it or not. It's quite decent. A little bit baggy around the neck, but the thumb holes in the sleeves are quite useful for keeping it from riding up your arms. That is a pair of thermal long johns, and those are a pair of thick heat holder socks that go on as well inside my sleeping bag. So in that all goes. Next is my Rab Continuum down jacket. I will do a review on that at some point, although I have to say, very straightforward, I've got nothing bad to say about it. That is the nuts. Love it. Okay, and finally, weather dependent gear, my mountain equipment Load Sea jacket. You will see several other people, several other YouTubers that use this jacket. By no means the least of whom is Abby Barnes. She wears this jacket, you'll see on a lot of her videos. It is fantastic. It is the only bit of kit, not the only bit of kit, but it's one of my bits of kit that has never let me down at all. It has never wet through, it has never, the zips have never allowed any water through. It is absolutely gold. That is, I would never ever want to be without that if there was any chance of a shower at all. So that's going in the bag. We'll do that up. So, loadout weight number 2. We know that my weight, again, is 100.1 kilograms. So here we go with this pack on. 109.9. So now this pack is actually 9.8 kilograms. I've added 1 kilogram of weight with my winter or wet weather gear there. Okay, so still at single figures for a wet weather weekend, shall we say. Excellent. Let's move on to my full-on camera and vlogging setup in addition to all of that as well. Okay, so we're moving on to my full-on astrophotography, vlogging, potentially wet weather, cold weather, everything that I might possibly need kit loadout. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 assumptions for this loadout. The first one is hypothetically that I'm going somewhere where there is no available water source. Okay, so I'm not going to take with me on this particular loadout the water filter. For those of you who don't know, that is the MSR Trail Shot water filter. It's a brilliant little bit of kit, highly recommended, and I will do a review on that at some point soon as well. Okay, the second thing I'm going to assume is that obviously I'm going to take my astrophotography gear, so I'm assuming there's going to be clear skies during the weekend, but that there is also going to be some forecast for wet skies at some point as well. So the jacket, the low sea jacket, is still coming with me as well. Okay, so let's get to it. There's a lot to get in the bag. What I've done is I've taken everything back out of the bag again, because getting the photography gear in at the same time requires a little bit more finesse than I showed when I was filling it in for the lightweight times, for the lightweight stuff before. Here we go. Okay, those are just a few bits of housekeeping materials. Those are sponges for drying the tent off in the morning, and a few extra bits and pieces as well that are just useful to have. Call them luxury items if you want. They are pretty good to have around. Now I lay those across the back of the pack, trying to keep them sort of evenly spaced and sort of central, and then the rock bag goes across the back of there as well. Now the reason I'm going to do that is I want to sort of bring the camera bag forward a bit so that I can open the front panel and access the camera bag straight away should I need to. Generally behind the camera bag I'm going to put the bits and pieces that I wouldn't normally need while I'm walking. So I'm going to grab my bedclothes as well. I'm going to lay those along the back of the pack. Okay, so now we're going to load out the bottom of the pack. We're going to put in the very bottom there the tent. So the tent is going to go down there, and the sleeping bag is going to go down there as well. Okay, so we're going to squeeze in there. Okay, and now I'm going to put the camera bag in. Now this is an f-stop camera bag. It's basically built to be an insert for an f-stop rucksack. It's made to attach to the inside of the pack, but essentially the pack that it's made to go inside is a very similar design to the one I've got here, apart from the attachment loops on the inside of the pack. And so this is ideal. And inside here, and I'll tell you now, this weighs about 9 kilograms alone. Inside here I've got my DSLR camera, body, 3 lenses, I've got my tracking mount there, I've got the counterweight for the tracking mount, so I've got just simply inside there a lump of lead that weighs 1 kilogram on its own. Okay, that's a counterweight for the tracking mount, but it is absolutely essential for this particular bit of kit. everything I need for doing my astrophotography is in there, and in it goes. And because again, that's basically a panel loading thing, that can sit there. Should I need to, I open the front panel of the pack, and there it is, ready for me. Now I just want a bit more support underneath the bottom of that pack, so I'm going to stuff my nighttime socks there. What else will go in there useful? Right, there's a bit of pegs there as well. That's great. And then down the side of that, I'm going to put my sleeping pad. Now I can definitely fit a bit more stuff down here. So I've got a couple more luxuries over here. So I'll start with my pillow. That is a Vango Deep Sleep Therma pillow. That is the ground sheet for the Lantern 2, so that's an extra footprint for the tent. And he goes there. And then this is my Helinox Chair Zero. Now if you want to just get yourself off the ground, but it not cost you anything in weight, that weighs about 800 grams, I think. It might even be less than that. It's a fantastic, very comfortable. If you weigh a huge amount, I mean, I've sat in this and when I've weighed up to about 16.5, 17 stone, so don't worry too much unless you're way over that weight. It took me no problem at all. But that is the Helinox Chair Zero, and it's a fantastic bit of kit. He can go with the sleep pad down that side. Okay, now we're reaching a point now where I need to start thinking about zipping up, but I've still got quite a lot of space down here that I can fill. So I'm going to put the RAB. I'm going to put the Continuum jacket down there because it does compress down very small indeed, and I can quite easily stuff it in there. And down the sides of things, and there we go. Right, so I think I've filled out all the gaps there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to zip up the sides. I'm going to attach the 2 rapide hooks on the Exped Thunder as I go. Here we go. Right, so as we go, we've got quite a bit of space here, so I can probably quite comfortably put my food here now. Put that in there, that's fine. And then let's put my cold weather bits just to pad that out. So there's my sleeve, there's my hat. I don't want to put too much here because obviously it's blocking me from getting to the camera gear should I need to get to it at short notice. Okay, so that'll do. And let's finish doing the front panel. Go. Right. So this is where things start to get a bit tricky. Because now I'm top loading. 2 more rapide hooks to do up here. Give them a little tug. Okay, so now I'm into the top loading section here. So I'm going to start with the Power Stretch fleece. Rain jacket's going to go in the front stretch pocket just for ease of access. Okay, Possibles bag in the top, cooking kit also in the top, kettle and mug also in the top. Head torch, map, spoon, sweat rag, And there you go. Right, I brought some support into play. I need to get above the bag. So there we go. Okay, to do this top strap up here, I'm going to have to loosen them off a bit. Nice thing about the X-Bed Thunder 70 pack is that you get absolutely loads and loads of tape on these pulleys. So we're going to loop that over in there. Give everything a good old compress. Now I can extend these straps down here a little bit so that the top section of the pack will lift up above this overloaded main section. Now, one or two of you are going to have noticed that I have not put the drone in here. Correct? I have not. Good reason for that. The reason for that is that this top section here is so large that that entire carry bag for my, this is a new drone by the way, this is my DJI Mavic Air drone that I'm now using. It will fit in here. But I have actually got a little bit more space there, which I'm going to be honest with you, I would use that for, that is the carry case for my DJI Osmo mobile gimbal that is currently sat on top of the tripod that you're watching me from. That'll go in here as well. Okay, tighten these straps. Okay, let's put the walking poles back on the front. No, we'll put the load seat in the front stretch pocket first. Go. Nice quick access to that. I'm going to lay that down here. And finally, the big bad boy tripod. He's going to attach down this side here. See if I can turn it around and show you how I do that. So generally what I'll do is I'll separate out the two back legs and I'll put those inside the drinks pocket, inside the stretch pocket on the side here. Close the front leg down and then I'll undo this rapide hook, extend the strap, put it around, clip it back on and give it a good tighten down. And there we go. That's my tripod on the side as well. Now I've got two hip belt pockets that I haven't used yet, so let's, for the sake of being completely thorough, let's put the trail shot filter back in there. And that is everything I've got. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be in the 20s, but let's see. So we know I'm 100.1 kilograms. Here we go. 125.2. It is 25.1 kilograms. Okay, so that's it folks. That's three versions of my trail weight. That is 8.8 kilos is my absolute bare minimum. 9.8 kilograms is my weather dependent wet and cold weather additions, and then 25.1 kilograms is my full on astrophotography, vlogging, big tripod, everything I could ever possibly need on a hike setup. And I can honestly say, it's pretty comfortable. It's okay. I mean, it's a tribute to the Exped Thunder 70 backpack that I can actually stand here quite comfortably and actually probably imagine myself walking a fair distance like this. I didn't quite take this much when I went up Cadair Idris, and it was around about 21, 22 kilos when I went up there, but I made it up there with this pack on. Happy days, no problem at all. So that's it. So thank you very much everyone for watching my lockdown loadout video. You've got 3 versions of my trail weight there to consider. There's more coming from me fairly soon. I've been put on furlough for the next 12 weeks due to a previous medical condition that the NHS have been in touch with me regarding. So although I am a key worker, I am now grounded for the foreseeable. So there's going to be a few gear reviews from me coming. There's going to be 1 or 2 more bits and pieces like this, including some backyard camping on my hammock stand that I've made. And that's it. Enjoy. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're all well. Look after yourselves, look after each other. Thanks for watching Wild Astro. If you've enjoyed what you've seen today, please consider subscribing. This is Richie, signing off.